Welcome to Real Estate Powerhouse, live on Tap Talks with your host, Nadia Bashani, top real estate attorney and negotiation expert. This is your opportunity to get the inside scoop and hear straight from top real estate agents in the business. Broadcasting live from New York City, learn the secrets of their success and hear the most authentic, real, unfiltered stories about how they got to where they are today. From their wins to their failures to the biggest lessons of their careers and what keeps them rising to the top. And now, here is your host attorney, Nadia Bashani.
Hello, good afternoon. Nadia, welcome to episode 1 of the Real Estate Powerhouse podcast. And I am so excited to have you in the building as my first guest today.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. This is going to be so much fun.
Okay, great. Well, we are excited to have you. So, as you know, this podcast is all about honoring and shining the light on real estate powerhouse agents such as yourself. And we really want to get an idea of, how you got started in the business, your background, what got you started in real estate to begin with. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I started in real estate in 2003. I was in Westchester. It was kind of one of those natural progressions. Throughout college, I was a psychology major. So while I was bartending to support myself, bottle waitressing, I knew that there had to be an end game to it, right? But each time I would get these great jobs, but the hours and the pay were not lining up. What happened is a lot of my friends at that time, they were going into real estate and they were doing really well. And I knew I wanted to break out of, you can't serve bottles for the rest of your life, right? So I wanted to give it a shot. I gave it a shot, and the first brokerage I was with is Prudential Rand. They are based in Westchester right now. They're Better Homes and Gardens Rand Realty, and first year in, rookie of the year, and I said, you know what, this fits.
Wow. Yeah. Fantastic. And being that you're a psychology major and dealing with people day in, day out, I'm sure that really, helps you, win deals, represent clients, negotiate, and all of that.
Who would have thought? I've been using my my psych classes in my day-to-day life. I think there's a joke or a meme that's out there, and it says a real estate agent is a therapist who shows houses from time to time. Everyone's that.
100%. You see it all, and you're dealing with so many different people, and they probably come to you with everything.
Yes.
And you guys are really on the ground. What I love about real estate agents is that you guys hit the ground running. I know you personally, you're a very hands-on, dedicated agent. You get, a lot of your clients end up coming back to you for repeat deals, which is a testament, I think, to your skills and your personality and how great you are. Tell me a little bit about, do you focus, more on buyers or sellers? Do you have a sweet spot? And what do you love most about working with your clients?
So I don't have a focus on necessarily buyers or sellers, right? There's the transaction, and then there's the person as a whole. Okay. So in real estate, as much as it's a numbers game, it's a transaction game. As me and you have worked together often, and as you know, I do a lot of repeat business. So my buyer will turn around and be a seller, and that seller will end up buying again. So it's I like my goal has always been to work with people I love doing what I love. So with that, I have the skill set to do both. So I never really have seen myself limiting or saying I prefer one over the other, because both have different paces and both have different needs. But in both of them, I give 100, I like to say 110% to my clients, because the communication, the pulse has to constantly keep going in order for them to feel like they're in the know and that they know that I'm advocating for them.
Yes. Okay, excellent. And now, other than your repeat referrals that you get, from other clients, from past clients, what is another great, resource for your leads? So how do you get new clients? How do you generate new business for yourself outside of the referrals?
Outside of referrals, what's really been working for me lately is once I started branding myself on social media, I've gotten such great leads just via checking, uh, people sliding in my DMs, me putting out an informational or a funny reel, and somebody tapping in. Also, just in network, I think I give a lot to the people I work with. So whether it's an attorney or a home inspector, or even people from the past. So again, yes, that's more referral based. But as far as strangers off the interwebs, they have been very good to me. So that's been my second top lead generator as of late.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And what do you think? What does it take for those agents out there that are really looking to get more into the luxury real estate market and the higher price points? What do you think really sets you apart? And what do you think it takes as far as skill set for those agents that maybe are starting out and really want to reach that higher level of price point in the luxury market?
So what I would say in as far as luxury goes, and here's the thing, I used to work when I was 21, and I've had a lot of jobs. I think when I was 21, I was working at Neiman Marcus, right? And at that time, Neiman Marcus was just, we had our little black book of clients. And what I've learned about watching money and watching luxury is that it's not as high up as people feel. Like you have to like kind of be suited up, and you kind of have to like walk the walk. They say fake it till you make it. What has gotten me into the luxury space is just me being like showing up as my authentic self. So I know my IP, my intellectual property with real estate. Like I could talk real estate any time of day. But people don't want just a real estate agent. They want somebody that could fit into like this transaction is like we're together 3 whole months, 6 whole months. They want to be able to feel like they can trust you. And another thing with luxury, whether it's celebrities or just somebody that has a great amount of wealth, is that they don't want their money to be you don't gasp, you don't act like, oh my gosh, it's so surprising. So once you deal with it as you would any other transaction, and you use those dollars as a matter of fact kind of conversation, because whether your budget is 10 million or 1 million, the needs are still the same. So the needs at $10 million may sound so extravagant, right? It might say the person who has the $10 million house, they want a room that they could, do yoga in. And you're like, well, why? But you just have to know that this is what the client wants. This is what I'm going to get them. It's worked for me. It's really just worked just talking in plain everyday New York City. I'm a New Yorker through and through, and you just talk to them at that level, and that's how you build trust.
Yep. I love that. No, that's so true. And it's funny because they do say that a lot of times the higher end clients, the one in the, $10 million plus range, they're actually the easier clients. They're the ones who don't need as much hand holding because they don't have the time. They're like, look, just get the deal done. If there's an issue, if there's a fire, let me know. But otherwise, let's just get this deal to the closing table and, tell me where to wire my money. So I've seen that happen a lot in kind of like the higher end. But you're right. The needs as far as making sure the transaction goes smoothly, obviously is still the same. But I love the fact that, the more sophisticated the client or more successful the client, they really entrust, in you and in me, to just see the deal to the end because we're the professionals and we're there to get it done.
Right.
So I completely agree with you on that.
Right.
Now, I want to hear a little bit about some crazy stories. You know, we all know in this business, we get crazy clients, crazy deals, things that you thought, you know, you can't even make this stuff up, right? You know, it's like things that may have just happened to you during the deal. I mean, obviously between you and I, you know, we've had our fair share of crazy stories and transactions that, you know, we're like, are you kidding me? You know, are these people serious? But yeah, it really does happen. You know, still every day. It's never a dull moment, especially in New York. But I want to hear from you what, you know, just something outrageous that took you by surprise or that you were like, I can't believe this is happening.
Ooh, I have so many stories, but the funniest one, you know, they say that there's a time that you could laugh about something when you look back at it. And I'm not at that point. It's still a very sore spot, but I'll tell you, I had a listing in Bed-Stuy, and it was one of those, you know, the divorcing couple, right?
Yeah, sure.
So you know, the wife wants to sell, husband doesn't want to sell. Husband is basically, you know, squatting in one of the units, and showing anything was difficult. So, I mean, there were people who wanted to buy. So I said, you know what? I had it down packed. I said, I'm going to schedule 5 people all at once. I'm going to drive up demand, right? I had the 2 units that I knew I could show, and I had everyone, they were all lined up waiting for me. So of course, this is the day I know I'm going to walk out with an offer. Right. So we show the units, everybody's happy, and then we walk outside, and I look outside, and there is a man sleeping on a comforter in the front of the home.
No.
Like, looking around like, when did he get here? And the other agent, one of the agents that was with their client was like, yeah, he was here when you came. Now, when I came at a certain angle that I really can't believe that I like literally did not see a full body laying on the floor, but that's
seriously,
that's what happened. And I mean, so what happened?
Did you wake him up or what?
No. So this is what happened is this. The husband didn't want to sell, and the husband was, you know, it was just like, what can we do to make each other's lives the most miserable? So the husband basically hired got like a buddy to play homeless and sleep outside because, I mean, everybody's talking and this person never opened their eyes, not once. I'm just like, what? Yeah, it was
shenanigans.
It was shenanigans and confusion and chaos.
Right. So did that deal finally close? I have to ask.
No. We had 5 offers at full asking, never came to agreement. Wow. Then they switched agents.
Oh.
Well, guess what? The agent who has the listing hasn't closed either.
Closed. You know, sometimes, those divorce cases are so tough because one of the spouses are digging in their heels if they have not come to an agreement on money. And obviously we know, you know, money is like always the root of any disagreement. And they probably just never came to an agreement, which is why when taking on those listings with divorcees, make sure they have a settlement agreement in place. That's what I tell, you know, all potential agents that are taking a divorcee deal, because obviously you're spending so much time and resources and energy of your own, and the parties haven't even come to an agreement on the price. So it's like, it makes your job that much harder.
So much time. And I thank you for giving that advice, because I do have another one that's in tow. And this, I think the divorce cases are the ones where everyone just really, in the best way I can say it, they really show their ass.
Yeah.
You know, it's insane. Yeah. I have another one coming up, and the husband and the ex-wife are living in the same unit.
Oh, they are.
And he's remarried already.
Oh, no way. But he won't vacate the property?
well, he's like, it's mine. And then she's like, well, I want half. And then it's just a messy, and the kids are the ones who reached out to me like,
oh no. Yeah. Oh gosh. And then you have those deals where like the sellers never vacate and never want to move out, and they're just dragging themselves, and wasting money.
Yeah, we had one of those.
Yes.
It's like, where are we being punked? Is there?
I know. I'm seriously
sure around the corner of what?
Yeah. Hopping out with a video camera. I know. It's
right. I
mean, we could write a book. We definitely could about all of the crazy New York real estate
bestseller. New York Times bestseller.
Yes, precisely. Speaking of which, I would love to ask you, because I love this question, and somebody asked me this, and I think it's a really cool question. So if you were to write an autobiography on your life, what would you title that?
Ooh, I know what I would title it. As I always say, I would call it The Renaissance Woman.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I've held so many hats, and all roads have always led back to real estate. Yeah. But all roads has also helped me just be that much better. If I just go down, my top, I don't know if there's my top 5 jobs. We already said I've worked at Neiman Marcus. I was a bottle waitress. Yeah. I was a bartender. I was a nurse, a pediatric nurse.
Wow.
For years. Yeah. My very, very first job. I count when I was 16, and I was
sure.
I used to work at my first job at Burger King, the local Burger King.
Okay.
And then they were like, okay, me and the fry station wasn't working. I did drive through, but I was like,
Yeah.
My job there every weekend, I was the one that would man and lead all the kid parties.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, so it was always like, I guess since I was younger, I was always something like, okay, you go talk to the people. You're the one that's going to be.
Yeah, you're the people person. Yeah, I mean, you could, look, again, you need the personality for this business, and it just shows in your history of work that it's customer service. It's being around people. It's like helping people. So between all of that, nursing with the nurse and the bottle service and Neiman's and, fast food, all of that. So, and I feel like that is really what makes you shine a lot. And, you have to be this like extroverted go-getter type of person to really make it in this business, and I think you've learned that. And you have to hustle and you have to be aggressive.
And I forgot to mention, like my top other career. I'm also the DJ.
Yes, the DJ. I was going to ask you that. I was going to say next, like, do you have any passions? Yes. So tell us more about that gig and how that ties in to your role, in real estate and also being an agent.
Yeah, so I'm a creative by heart, right? I do very well when my clients are also creatives, because it's like I'm more of a left-brained personality. I got a mentor for DJing because I've always wanted to do it, and we were like hanging out at the time. A bunch of me and a bunch of friends, and my mentor, he was DJ Jeff Brown. He taught his girlfriend how to DJ, and she was just so masterful. And I asked him, hey, can you train me? And he did. And it just turned into, I've been flown to Morocco to DJ weddings. I've been transported to Canada, to Miami. And for a while, I was a full-time DJ. Wow. And when I came into real estate, my first instinct, I had another real estate mentor at that time who felt, you have to keep this DJ stuff hidden. Nobody's going to take you seriously. You want to get clients, you're just kind of all over the place. And I felt like, that part of me, I was giving gigs away. I was really not promoting myself as a DJ at all. And, I've always felt like that there was like this secretive thing about it. Fast forward, I know I was with the Eklund Gomes team for a while. And Frederick Eklund, he's like the king of just being yourself. And when he found out that I was a DJ, he pulled me aside and he was like, "Why are you hiding this?" So I told him, I said, I really want to break into these kind of markets, and I want people to take me serious, and all this like hemming and hawing. He was like, "You need to show this, because this is what is setting you apart." And he encouraged me to talk more about it. He encouraged me to post about it. He encouraged me to bring those two worlds together. And when I tell you, when those two worlds really connected, that's when everything took off. One of my most recent clients was somebody I met while we DJed together.
Oh, wow.
And we just closed on their townhouse in Bed-Stuy with him and his new wife. And
wow.
So it's like, imagine if that world wasn't part of my life, that would be, and how that world can enhance my life as a DJ, right? As a real estate agent, I mean, because at the end of it, I just believe that the clients I have, we want to talk about more things. Again, it's a very intimate process. It's 3 to 6 months, or maybe sometimes even a year if you're a buyer's agent, of hand-holding, finding out about this person's lifestyle, finding out what this person wants. And people want to know that you can understand their why. And I just don't think that they really trust you if you're just one-dimensional, right? My other client, she was a doctor. She quit at she was 44, 45. She left and moved to East Africa. Sold her place, and she was looking for another brownstone for her to have like a 2-family kind of rental situation in. And she told me all she wanted a hula hoop room.
Oh, okay.
Wanted a hula hoop room. And she loved hula hooping. Even now that she's in Africa, she's hula hooping everywhere. And it's just it's a beautiful thing to watch, because you can see just utter joy come out from her when she's in this state. So of course, single woman wants to buy a house of her own. She wants a hula hoop room. We're going to get that hula hoop room.
That's right.
The thing is, some of these brownstones, if they're in the old footprint, that third bedroom is always somewhat narrow. You can't really do too much. It's not really big enough for a bedroom, but you don't want to just lose it to being a closet. So you want something else, especially when this is something that you're doing for yourself. Right. We used to go into some of these homes, and I'm like, yeah, she needs this room for hula hooping, and their jaws would drop. But I don't think, if I wasn't powered mostly by my left brain, I too would have probably looked at her like, are you crazy? Because this is what, this is why I say, like, my clients at this point, and we use the word client loosely in real estate, but like my clients would really go into a room and say, my real estate agent XYZ.
Right.
Whereas I don't think you get a lot of that where you have a true client relationship where, I'm not saying that they won't go to somebody else, but we've built such an intimate relationship of trust and getting to know each other that when it's time for them to transact again, the person to do it is me.
Right. Yeah. And I think that also goes to show, one, it's an expression of your creativity. It's an expression of your individuality, right? So, and people want to work with people that they like and that they relate to. And you're very relatable in that sense. So, having clients feel like you understand them, you understand their needs, you're not laughing at their requests and things like that, really goes a long way in this business. And like you said, when they're going to think about their next sale or their next purchase, they're going to come back to you over, a random real estate agent that they don't know or share that relationship with. So yeah. I think it's so important, as real estate professionals to have that other side that you let shine, and you pursue, those other passions that you have and DJing, especially if you're great at it like you are, and you meet so many people, that way as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. People, you know what? So people talk more to, like, my DJ stage name is DJ Vidal.
Yeah.
People tell DJ Vidal way more than they tell Nadia Hussey, the agent. Listen,
right.
Yes. When it comes to, if you're playing a song that somebody, think about how our relationship with some songs are. And you're out and you're like, this DJ is playing a B-side song that you haven't heard in so long. And that you already know that this person, like, now you and this person can relate.
And there's that connection. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get to talk some more. And then it's like, oh, you're also a real estate agent. So it works in so many ways. And yes, I think me being good at it helps too.
Right, exactly.
Clearing out the dance floor.
Yes. And people are happy. Because you're behind the DJ booth, like, you are making people dance, you're making them happy, you're making them like forget about all the worries and the stresses in their life, and they're just having a good time. And the fact that you can bring that to them, is just like priceless.
Yeah, and I'm bringing it to me too. I used to work at a cellar bar at Bryant Park Hotel.
Oh, sure.
After a long day, that's when I was a nurse, and I would leave nursing and go DJ, and it was just such a release. So I see that, and I can see why it's also opened up a lot of doors for me in my real estate career.
Yes. And speaking of which, you also DJ like broker parties, lunches, new development parties, like so it's like, oh, I can sell this building and I can also DJ the broker party.
Yeah. I do a lot of new development, especially one of my closest friends, her name is Jessica Peters, and she has a new development team. And we just kind of have this friendship collaboration where it's like, okay, we're both real estate agents. I want her to succeed, but if I could help her and come in as an artist, of course, why not? And it's been the greatest. It's been the greatest relationship because it's like we're not. It also shows the brokers that you're never really on the opposing team.
Right, you're not competitors. Yeah.
No. She has her niche, and I've brought buyers to her place, and it's just an ongoing relationship. So that's always fun.
Yes. Well, and thanks to you, Jessica's going to be on the show as well. So I appreciate that intro because she's another, powerhouse, and she is going to be a guest on the show as well. So with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back with part 2 with Nadia Hussey Vidal.
Hey.
Whether you are a new buyer or a seasoned investor in the real estate market, you need top legal representation and expertise to ensure your transactions close smoothly and successfully. As someone whose priorities are communication, attention to detail, efficiency, and creative negotiation, TAB Law Firm provides hands-on, personalized service that focuses on clients' needs and peace of mind. After working with big corporate law firms, I realized their focus was on volume rather than nurturing and protecting their clients. I then decided to start my own firm 15 years ago to provide exceptional, personalized service that protects and informs my clients every step of the way. Most of my clients are looking for guidance, transparency, and clear communication throughout their real estate transaction. Making myself available to my clients is one of my top priorities, and my expertise allows me to foresee issues before they happen and avoid potential downfalls. This proactive approach safeguards my clients from incurring any additional expenses, delays, or stress. During the selling or buying process, efficiency is key. I keep all parties informed and organized, ensuring we close smoothly. I fancy myself as a deal maker, not a deal breaker. If you are looking to buy or sell real estate, or if you are a real estate broker looking for an attorney who's going to be communicative, efficient, and responsive to you and your clients, then contact me at Tali360.com. And let's start working together. Close with Tab and feel fab.
All right, that was a quick commercial break, a little Close with Tab law firm, of course.
Close with Tab and feel fab.
Yeah, Close with Tab and feel fab. That was actually my BNI, as you know, BNI, right? So when you have to come up with your little slogan, your elevator pitch slogan. So mine was Close with Tab and feel fab. And then it just stuck. That and, being a deal maker, not a deal breaker. So those are my two slogans.
No, that's really true about you. I mean, one thing I always say of anybody I've ever recommended to you, I'm like, this girl, she knows her shit, and she doesn't talk in this that lawyer language that you're like, what? What did you just say? Because everybody, you see sometimes with lawyers, everybody's nodding their head, and we're all like, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And then we turn around like, we don't know.
Like, what did they just say? Right. What did they say?
It's like, where do I sign, I guess?
Right. No, you have to, I try and break it down to layman's terms because, at the end of the day, it's the client's money, their purchase, their transaction, and they have to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm all about that.
Yeah.
So Nadia, tell me, what do you think as far as, pros and cons of working solo versus working with a team? So my understanding is you work solo, right? You're not a part of any team. Okay. No. So I want to know from you, from your experience, why you chose to work solo, versus the team, and, pros and cons for each.
Oh, well, I mean, I was on a team. I was on, there was a time. So I was solo before, then I went on a team, and then I left the team. Basically, there's a lot of pros to being on a team, right? You have a book of business, you have that support. We had everything was done for us, down to our social media, down to our networking. And I was with a big ass team. So that team was always able to give me leverage to level up. So why did I leave?
Yeah.
We were in the midst of the pandemic, and the pandemic was just, I felt at one point I was with a team that I viewed as family. I had such great support with that team. And then here we are, the world is shut down, and I was home alone. And I lost a lot of people during the pandemic. So it was just a time that I was just not sure what I'm doing, where I'm going. And, at that time we didn't have direction either, even being on a team. So somebody just kept on telling me to, bet on yourself, brand yourself. And sometimes, there's there's one voice is saying to go do it. And then the other voice is like, oh, but really, brand what? Who do you think you are? So I left the team after, wringing my hands and just said, yeah, I'm going to try to do this on my own. And the difference between solo agent before the team and agent after the team is I learned so much within the team that I just really had this urge to take what I've learned about branding, marketing, just pushing myself. And I said, well, if I had this knowledge before, what would have happened, right? And I left, applied that. Of course, after the pandemic, we were everywhere. But I would say that now, I'm in one of my best years yet, just using those tools. Okay. So what I would say with being a solo agent, it takes a lot of accountability. It takes a lot of looking at yourself in the mirror and knowing you ain't do what you said you were going to do. And that's why That's why this isn't. So it's like, I give myself tasks. I give myself, my marketing, my social media, all of those things. You know, while I'm doing a deal, I now have to make a post. I now have to get the creative, and because I am a creative by nature, I have to do those things. Because when I do, things happen, and when I don't, things don't. So the one thing about being a solo agent is just like accountability, and really just like looking in the mirror and knowing, you could tell yourself when you're falling short, and you don't have that team that could like absorb it or push you
or pick up the slack.
Yeah, there's nobody to say like, hey, you know what, Nadia, you didn't do whatever last week, or there's nobody to give you all these tasks, or go show this thing, go do that. It's all on me. And so sometimes, I'll question like, oh my God, what have I done? Why, but other times it's very rewarding. So there's this level of satisfaction that, that you are holding yourself accountable, but it just takes that extra amount of work. It really does.
So if from a time management perspective, being that you have to manage everything, the showings, the listings, the marketing, the open houses, everything from soup to nuts, do you have a special like regimen or mantra? Like, how do you keep yourself so together and so on point with everything? Like what methodology do you follow?
Alcohol.
You're so funny. So a little liquor release.
I'm completely joking when I say that, guys. Completely joking. No, but so for me, my regimen is this time blocking. Like, I've learned a lot about time blocking and just keeping what I used to do. So I'll tell you from how I time manage, right? I would have this list of clientele or transactions or people who want to transact. And I would say, okay, they seem ready. They should be on the back burner. Let me focus here and I'll get back to this. That was the most problematic thing I did, right? My office manager, his name is Alex Saltolonacci, at one thing he said, he was like, no, if you have these 8 things, you need to figure out a way to have these 8 things tended to each day. And you're going to time block yourself, and you're going to deal with each one of them. Because guess what? The person who I felt that should be on the back burner transacted before the person that I felt was ready to go.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And the person I felt was ready to go got cold feet and, and put things aside. Now, what if I was putting all that focus on that person because, and for no reason, you really think of it, there was, what do we know about somebody else if they're ready, like the readiness of someone else in this kind of industry, right?
Right.
We don't.
No.
We don't. So here you are making these assumptions, and again, because you're your own business, you're losing out.
Yeah.
So it's like once I really managed time blocking, time management, where every day, these things get listed, and every day something has to get. If it doesn't get crossed off, then those things on the bottom get put to the top. But whatever got crossed off, there's something else to do. And it just means that there's always work to do. Yeah. And, sometimes we can get really complacent, which is easy, right? Because it's like, if we go to a job, I can go, I just spoke to a friend of mine who's probably one of my biggest motivators too, my girlfriend Esther. She said, look, I could go to work and I could teeter-totter around and my paycheck is going to be the same.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
It's true. I can't.
True. No. And what you put out is what you get back. And so if you're not putting forth the work and the time and the effort, then you're not getting paid. and you're not closing those deals, and you only have yourself to answer to, So you need that. But when do you find time for you? Because we know that real estate never stops, right? Especially for you guys where, weekends and after work hours are, big, opportunities to be showing property and taking clients around, and, you're getting calls and requests and things like that. So how do you manage the time where you still have a balance, for yourself in life, when clients, are demanding, all of your time and attention? So how do you balance that?
Same exact time blocking. It's on the calendar. If I want to do something for fun, it's on the calendar. Right. Now, we all want to have spontaneous moments.
Yeah.
But it's in, like, my work-life balance is very important to me. Yeah. Without it, I'm a mad woman. Mm-hmm. So the same way that I time block those clients and those tasks, I time block my gym. I time block happy hour with Talia, and when I'm there, I know I could be present because all of those things was checked off. For a lot of people, it's been criticized, right? Because again, but my life doesn't have a go with the flow. There is no flow if I don't go work. And if I don't allow myself, it's this anticipation of just looking forward to something that you're treating yourself to. Like, if you think about just, I hate bringing up the, 2020, because that was like a terrible year for all of us.
Yeah.
One of the things that we lost in that is that anticipation of a vacation, that anticipation of, somebody's going to have a cookout. There's going to be a rooftop party. So, I'm going to do all of this stuff. And at the end of the day, there's happy hour with friends. We just didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
So what I started doing is, as much as I work, I don't know, I work a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how
you're always working. I know you're always on the go and you're always working. And it's like, every time I talk to you, you're like, yep, I'm doing this. I'm on to that. I'm going here. I'm doing this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but I play too. So it's when I realized, I think it was 2019, and that's where, I think before the pandemic, it was like, I'm a workaholic. I don't have time. I have to work. And once I saw that anticipation of having fun was taken away from us, right. I said, I'm not going to do it again. Yeah. And then I had this year of, I think I read Shonda Rhimes' book, and I had that year of yes, that any invite I was taking. Any invite I was taking, and I was going to make time for it. And it was exhausting, but it was, it really just helped me put a lot of things into perspective. Even your personalities of friendships that you make, or friendships that you could nurture, because it's not just that we need to be outside with everyone.
Yeah.
We need to be outside with people who are also, we want to kind of put ourselves in with like-minded people. We want to put ourselves in with other people that's going to give us that motivation. And I mean, it sounds like, it sounds so self-helpy, but it's really not, right? Because I don't think as much as we've worked together, we've also connected on the personal level. Right. It wasn't something manufactured that say, hey, Talia, can you come motivate me? No, it was just that we had that good energy and that understanding that you have to work, I have to work. Yeah. And now that we don't have to work, we can unplug. Right. And it's something in the ether that just makes you enjoy that time with that person.
Yes, exactly. And we feed off of each other's energy. So, I think when you have, positive, like-minded individuals with the same goals, then it's just so fluid and it becomes so easy. And I love what you said about, any opportunity or any invite comes along, you take advantage of that, because I always say that when opportunities present themselves, you have to be open to receive, but not attached to the outcome. right? So you never know what's going to happen. You go in with no expectations and hopefully you're pleasantly surprised. But every opportunity that comes knocking, why wouldn't you open the door? Because it could lead to something wonderful, right?
All the time.
And that's in business and in personal, so, and as working warrior women, we, are always out, just like pounding the pavement and meeting new people and networking. And that's huge, because growing your network is really where you're going to like grow your business and you're going to grow your expertise. So
and
I love
grow personally as well, right? Because there's personal growth that, like, a lot of times I think we're in a personal business, right? As much as, like, yes, you do law, but you're dealing in real estate law. That this is one of one of the biggest business transactions of somebody's life. Right. Because of what it gives their family, because of what it gives their personal self. Right. So without this, like, we can't be masters in these fields without also wanting to pour into ourselves and wanting to have that personal growth. And that's why I feel the socializing aspect of real estate has always been, like, we're one industry that everything has to have a party, a drinks, a this, because this is how you end up meeting new people, how you end up transacting with new people. Right. So, I think I've always been, like, lately just really in this zone of just wanting to stretch, not just business wise, but personal too. It's this great dynamic feeling that I'm really enjoying.
That's amazing, and that's so important, and I love that. What would you say has been the biggest lesson of your career? Like something that, looking back on your, journey through this real estate world, that you would say, oh, had I known this back then, I would have done things differently. What do you think has been the biggest lesson for you in your career?
The biggest lesson in my career is really just being confident in knowing what I know and being able to show up as my authentic self. Okay. And knowing that the business that's going to come, the business will come to me. I think that where I've seen a lot of, I've always met those agents where there's this agent I'm going to do something with, so I can't, I'm not going to say his name, but nobody likes this guy. Okay. Nobody likes this guy, and he knows it. And he knows it. And I've learned that it doesn't pay to be cutthroat. And a lot of times, we feel as if we have to, do this and do that just to get ahead. But, to be unliked, it doesn't help your success. Mm-hmm. Not saying that I want to be so liked to get success, but once I said, like, I'm just going to be myself, and what business I'm going to get, I will get it, and I'll just be successful with that. And if, I remember there was when I first started in 2003, I gave myself so much pressure to mold and try to fit, and it would make me be so nervous to a point I would have a listing presentation and I would know what I'm talking about. But I so much wanted to, blend in or act, feel like I had to talk a certain talk or walk a certain walk. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, those were that I didn't, because who was this person, right? It wasn't Nadia showing up and saying that, I'm going to service your listing, but I'm going to service your listing as I would, with my techniques, with my knowledge. So I think it all comes with, some kind of experience, but I would have let go of that mask so long ago, knowing what I know now.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. That's great advice. And for agents that are looking to get started, in this business, Because as you said, you will come up against other agents who are cutthroat, maybe on the other side, of the deal. And, what advice would you give to new agents really trying to break into maybe doing sales or doing more, luxury, listings, things like that? What would be your best advice and guidance to them?
Oh, I would tell them, make friends.
Okay.
Make friends. There's there was this ancient adage that, all real estate agents, everybody's competing against each other. So why bother? It's not true. Look at the relationship I have with Jessica Peters. Yeah. Look at my relationship with other, power agents like Janet Tebadayo, Trevante Taylor, and we're actual friends where this is where you climb up, right? This is where you get that off-market deal, and you could pick up the phone and say, "Look, what do you got coming up? I need help." Yeah. You get access because you've built this relationship. So a lot of times, new agents. The other thing I would tell them too is go to a brokerage that could give you proper training and proper guidance. Right. A lot of times, I think real estate is big on recruiting, and a lot of people will go to a brokerage that promises you, you'll get 100%. But of what? You'll have to pay a desk fee. You don't have a manager that's helping you. You don't have any other senior agents that are, assisting you in growing your business. Because I'm telling you, since I've gotten my license, I've never had to use knowledge, but or acreage. What do they ask you in the real estate test? Like, they ask you some silly questions like eminent domain. That's never come up. What has come up is relationships. Can you get me this deal? And guess what? The agent that nobody likes, they're not going to be able to get you that deal as their buyer's agent, right? Because once they see that offer come in, do I want to deal with this agent for 3 months? He's a prick. Or like she's not a pleasant person. So get out there. If I had no business right now, what I'd be doing is I would go into the world is opened up again. Real estate, we have events, be known, put your face out there, meet people. And then that's how you end up building your circle, your real estate tribe of people that when you do get a client, when you do get a buyer, you've already met a couple of lawyers that you don't have to, that referral email could go in and that person knows you and will take care of your clients. So, they say this business, there's nothing more. Networking is really important here, in real estate, more than any other business, because you just can't do it without the support of your other co-brokers, your other lawyers. People have to be able to vouch for you. And one of the biggest things that I've always said is I've always wanted to become vouchable. I don't know if that's a word, but.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, look, your reputation precedes you, right? So you want people to associate your name, with somebody that they want to work with, somebody that's, kind and, fun and real and professional and all of those things, because that's really what's going to get you that reputation and the success in this business. So I wanted to say thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for being my first guest. You cracked the code, and so happy. And thanks for sharing, the wealth of knowledge and your experience and everything today. If those who are watching and everybody that's out there, the best way to connect with you, please share either your Instagram handle or the best way to connect with you.
Okay, so on Instagram, I am Nadia and the city. There's a dot between each one, but once you put Nadia dot, I pop up. I'm there. And then you could look me up on corporate website at Nadia Hussey. And then you could email me at nadia.hussey@corcoran.com. Let's chat.
All right. Thank you so much, Nadia. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I will see you at the next closing table.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
You've been tuning into Real Estate Powerhouse live on Tab Talks with your host attorney, Talia Bashani. For more information, please visit Tali360.com. You can watch this show streaming live on StreamYard and available across all social media outlets, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook Live, and more. Stay tuned for next week's episode. Thank you for your positive feedback, comments, and questions, and please share this show with your network.